Yeah. It's Big C. Fin Posse Podcast in the building. If you hating on the Fins, turn this up louder. I grew up on Shula. Chalk lines, cold rain, Marino in the pocket, dropping dimes, pure flame. 7-2 perfect, you can't say a thing back. Undefeated on your head, living rent-free fact. Jason Taylor off the edge, helmets turn to skyward. That thumping chests, every hit like a siren. You talking about rings, get your history straight. We the reason that the word perfect holds weight. It's that Fin Posse. Rage, turn the volume up. Hey, slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the orange boat ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, rage, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. Yeah, Larry C. Sunker in the mud, blood on his mouthpiece. Ricky in the backfield, making whole crowd screech. Wake off the snap count, quarterbacks daydreaming. By the time they look up, all they see is teal streaming. You forgot about Grease, you forgot about Twilly, you forgot Nat Moore. Going up, getting silly from Marino to a lineage, same jersey. We've been airing that thing out since before you that 30. Posse, rage, turn the volume up. Y'all slick from Miami, you get called out tough. From the orange boat ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, rage, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. This for the diehards, slamming doors on the loss. This for the old heads still quoting Shula talk. This for the kids wearing jerseys in June, waiting all year just to scream in the room. It's that Fin Posse rage, turn the volume up. Slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the orange boat ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse rage, put respect on the name. Big C in the crew, let them drown in the shame. It's the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. Fin Posse Podcast, get the dolphin story right. Woo! Get the dolphin story right. Woo! Get the dolphin story right. Yeah. Check it. From the 305 to the world. Big C on the mic. Welcome to the inner circle. You know what it is. Yeah. Clock hits noon, ready for the breakdown. Big C stepping up, holding down the town. The Fin Posse Podcast, yeah, we talking shop. Fresh off the field, never gonna stop. For the fans, by the fans, that's the code. Every single snap, every yard on the road. We dissect the stats, every gain, every loss. Breaking down the tape, checking every cross. Fins up, hold it high to the sky. Hard hitting talk, no need for a lie. From the trenches to the end zone, we keep it true. The Fin Posse, yeah, we waiting for you. Fins up, let the rivals all see. It's the daily grind, it's the podcast, it's Big C. Yeah. Keep it locked, Fins up. Big C. Posse move.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C. This is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everyone doing this morning? Good morning. Waking up to some good news today. Some surprising news, to be honest. And again, don't get too excited because we don't know exactly what it means. But it's good news. It's absolutely good news. And you should be excited for this offense moving forward because it's absolutely unexpected. This is very unexpected in my opinion. We'll get into it in 1 second. Let's say our good mornings real quick. Marcos, good morning. Michael K, good morning. Miller, good morning. Idolman, good morning. Shauno, good morning. What's up, bro? But anyway, you seen the thumbnail. The Miami Dolphins have activated wide receiver Chris Bell from the non-football injury list, which is a big deal. I didn't think that there was a chance that we were going to see Chris Bell till November. I didn't think there was a chance that we were going to see Chris Bell till November. I thought the Miami Dolphins would probably play it safe with Chris Bell. He suffered an ACL injury for the University of Louisville in December. We seen him running straight, down the field. I'm sure everybody's seen that clip. But I thought that the Miami Dolphins would be protective of Chris Bell. Chris Bell, we picked him up in the 3rd round, number 94 overall. He was a guy that had a first-round grade on him. Man, this could be huge for this Miami Dolphins offense. With the emergence of Caleb Douglas, and again, I'm not getting too far on the hype train with Caleb Douglas. What I've seen so far has impressed me. I'm not going to lie. It has impressed me. And I'm not going to sit here and lie because I said that Chris Bell, I didn't like the Chris Bell pick or the Caleb Douglas pick. I'm not going to sit here and lie because I said I didn't like the Caleb Douglas pick. If Caleb Douglas turns out to be a great player, that's phenomenal for the Miami Dolphins. And that's phenomenal for me as a fan. And I'm not going to be mad at that. I'll gladly be wrong. No problem being wrong whatsoever, especially if it benefits my football team. But if Caleb Douglas can continue to emerge into what a lot of fans see him being, and now we add Chris Bell to that, and if Chris Bell can live up to his hype and his expectations, that would be huge for this offense. That would give Malik a second weapon. That would give this offense just a whole nother dimension. Chris Bell is a different wide receiver. He's a bigger bodied wide receiver. He's 6'2", 222 pounds. Still got pretty good speed at 4.44. Kind of like a bully type receiver. I'd kind of compare him to his body kind of to a AJ Brown probably. We'll talk about some of his strengths. His last year at Louisville, before suffering the injury, he had 72 catches for 917 yards and 6 touchdowns. This just, again, if your wide receiver group looks like this, Caleb Douglas, Chris Bell, and Malik Washington, I think that's a okay wide receiver group. Now these rookie wide receivers are still they're gonna still have their hiccups. They're still gonna have their brain farts. They're still gonna have their rookie mistakes, right? I don't think it's a top wide receiver room by any means, but it's a lot better than what it could have been. You add in our rushing attack, which I think should be top notch, as long as this offensive line can, remain semi-healthy, because that's the major issue with this football team is the lack of depth. We don't have depth on this football team at any position, really, besides maybe linebacker. We might have some depth, but if players start getting injured for this football team, that's when we're going to see the real struggles come on. But yeah, this is such huge news for the Miami Dolphins. We thought we were going to have a wide receiver core of Tutu Atwell, a 5th round pick in Caleb Douglas and Malik Washington, and that would have been absolutely horrible. Maybe Jalen Tolbert. That would have been the worst in the league. If Chris Bell can come in and live up to that 1st round draft prospect, which is asking a lot. Typically, players coming back from ACL injuries they're not the same until year 2. So I don't know what to expect from him in the very first year, but it's got to be better than what we have. And then, like I said, the emergence of Caleb Douglas, if he can keep that going, if he can keep overperforming and doing spectacular things, that'd be great for the Miami Dolphins. That would be great. Let's see some of these comments. Glenn says, I made this call back in May. I don't want Bell. MD always said recovering ahead of schedule and his ACL was not complex. Douglas was worth the 3rd round pick for sure. Glenn, I struggle to say that wholeheartedly. As of right now, sure, it looks like that. But again, we have not even stepped on the field for one NFL game yet. So to project someone worthy of a 3rd round pick, I just think it's too early to say that. And maybe I'm just being apprehensive. I've been burned too many times by this football team. I've just been hurt too many times by this football team. But until you're producing in the regular season at a high level consistently, I'm just not willing to step out on that limb. I'm not willing to step out on that limb. You got to do more than have a couple practices in training camp and have one catch in the preseason. Again, fantastic catch against the Washington Commanders for Caleb Douglas, but he had one catch. Michael K said Spencer Brown looked horrible too. He got roasted at least 3 times. Miller says Chris Bell and Caleb Douglas, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. How long until Kevin Coleman Jr. comes back? I'm not sure when Kevin Coleman comes back. I have high expectations for Kevin Coleman. I think he can be a tremendous slot receiver for this football team. And if all 3 of those guys can pan out, wow, that would have been a fantastic job by John Eric Sullivan. Glenn says what it does is prevent teams from stacking the box. I mean, I think teams are still going to stack the box and dare us to beat them through the air. What it does is it allows us to win some more of those battles. Teams are still going to force us to pass because the strength of this team is still Devon Achane. The strength of this team is still Devon Achane. So teams are still going to stack that box on us and dare us to beat them through the air. And that's what we're going to have to do. Stop saying Douglas is a 5th round pick. He was a 3rd. Okay, he was selected in the 3rd. He was projected in a 5th by everyone, Glenn. Everyone. He was projected as a 5th round talent. Big C, why don't you wait until the Dolphins receivers go against starting caliber corners and not a next McDonald's fry cook? Michael K, and that's, Glenn saying that Caleb Douglas is definitely worth the 3rd round pick. I'm just not willing to say that yet. Has he looked like he's been worth it? Absolutely. But we're talking about training camp against. We know that the Miami Dolphins have one of the worst cornerback rooms in all of football, right? And then in the preseason game, they go against the Commanders' 2nd and 3rd string guys. Like, he just hasn't done it against anyone that's talented. Let Caleb Douglas go catch some passes on some of the top corners in this league first before we anoint him as the next great thing. Let him catch more than one pass in a preseason game. And I'm stoked that he's looked good. I am happy that he's looked good. But you guys are jumping out the window with why can't we just be happy for what we've seen so far? Everybody want to put labels on stuff. Everybody want to guarantee why? Just be happy for what we've seen and hope that it gets better. Hope that they continue to improve on it. But stop talking about everything like it's a sure thing because you've seen some training camp footage or heard some rumors from training camp or you've seen one catch in the preseason. Have they commented on the move? Doesn't mean week one. I don't think it does necessarily mean week one, but I don't think he's going on injury reserve. So I would expect him back before week 4, maybe, but who knows? I'm not sure. Joe says Caleb Douglas is going to be trash. I'm not going out. Listen, I'm not jumping on that ledge neither, Joe, but to say that he was absolutely worth the 3rd round pick before the guy steps on the field for one play, that's crazy to me. We still have no idea what Caleb Douglas is. We still have no idea. Michael K., what do you do with the Misfits? Miller, stop that. He did not have an Odell catch. That's the shit I'm talking about with you guys. Yo, he has a decent catch, and you guys jump out the window. He had an Odell catch. That was no Odell catch. He batted the ball down and pinned it against his body. Stop it. That's so disrespectful. Odell had one of the greatest catches in NFL history, and to even compare it to it's absolutely insane that you see the same thing. That you watch those two plays and see the same thing. That makes me question your football knowledge for real, my brother. It makes it hard for me to take you serious in things you say. Is Kenneth Grant a bust yet? When will he look like a first-round pick? Richard, he needs to get into the gym. He needs to find that motivation. He just doesn't have the motivation. He just doesn't have, if he had the motivation of a Jordan Phillips, then he could be an animal. He just don't have it. I'm not willing to say he's a bust yet. Christian Wilkins took quite a few years to get to the Christian Wilkins that was a high level player for us. It took Christian Wilkins a few years. I'm hoping that he grows up a little bit and realizes that he's got to put the work in. No longer can he just go upon pure skill and size and overpowering, the average person. Everybody's big, fast, and strong in the NFL. If you want to be successful in the NFL, you got to put in the extra work. And he hasn't done that so far in his career. But I'm not willing to say that it was. I'm not willing to say he's a bust yet. Joe says that was not an Odell catch. Not even close. They're not even the same ballpark. He snagged the ball. He didn't catch it out of thin air. He snagged it, brought it into him, and collapsed it against his body. It wasn't a clean catch. Odell caught that thing with 3 fingers. 3 fingers. Let Coach Hafley play him more to catch more. When Washington was dealing on Miami in practice, not once did I hear you say Washington was going up against backup corners. Glenn, what does that matter? Does that make your team better or worse? Does that make your team better or worse, Glenn? Are we supposed to ignore the fact that Caleb Douglas has gone against nobody? And again, this I understand why people think I'm negative because I'm constantly have to argue with Dolphin fans against Dolphins players, like I'm bashing them, and that's not what I'm doing. But you guys live so far with your head so far in the clouds that everything you say is unrealistic. Caleb Douglas, 3rd-round pick versus other 3rd-round picks is wild, though. Name me one from first, second wide receiver we drafted that has looked this good. How good has he looked? And I'm definitely, Bonnie. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm just saying, can we see some production against some NFL quality talent before we anoint him the next top wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins? Yes, I'm happy with what he's done so far. Yes, he made a nice catch against Washington. I'll still say to the death of me, it was offensive pass interference. But I'm cool with the offensive pass interference. Again, it benefited my team. I'm not mad at it. Call that all day. Call it all day. I'll take it. But the guy had one catch in preseason, and he was definitely worth the 3rd-round pick. What? Douglas at least 1,000 yards receiving because somebody has to have numbers. Richard, maybe he does. Maybe he does have 1,000 yards. Maybe. But what? Who knows? Chris Bell may come back, and Chris Bell might be even better. Hopefully he is, right? Hopefully Chris Bell's even better. I think there's going to be a lot of spreading the ball around this year. I think Malik's going to have a fair number of catches because he's going to be that security blanket. I think the rookie Coleman's going to have a bunch of catches from the slot. I think Achan's going to have a bunch of catches. So I can see a lot of people getting numbers this year instead of having one dominant receiver. You're questioning my knowledge about what, Glenn? Questioning my knowledge about what? Just because Waddle didn't have a catch that looked that good doesn't make it an Odell Beckham catch. It doesn't make it an Odell Beckham catch. It wasn't even a Jarvis Landry catch, let alone an Odell Beckham catch. Washington definitely didn't play the starting defense. Definitely didn't. They had 24 players out, I believe it was. Marco says, Big C, 18 yards on 5 pass attempts, 0 first downs, and 3 possessions. Does that sound like a starting quarterback to you? Who did that, Marcos? I would say no. Miller, he didn't catch that ball with one hand. He didn't catch the ball with one hand. Stop it. Stop. You're absolutely killing me, Miller. Stop it. That's exactly what he did. He caught it with his body. Oh, Big Pete in the in the comments. Let's go. Chris Bell coming back already. I'm so glad I was wrong on his injury. We definitely should be feeling playoffs now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, Glenn. You listen to the narrative. You're negative because you sound like you were a Tua lover and hate this team because you can see this team being better than last year's team. That's what you sound like. Do you really believe that, Glenn? I could give two shits about Tua Tagovailoa. No, you don't hear me talk about that dude whatsoever. People try to talk about what Atlanta did. I don't give a damn. I know that this team put a bunch of talent around Tua Tagovailoa. I know that. I know this team had to tear it down because of salary cap issues. I know this team is super inexperienced. I don't understand the words, what you don't understand. What rookie players do you know? What single 1 year minimum contract players do you know? Does Vegas sound like Tua lovers? Is Vegas 2 in ears? Is Vegas 2 in ears, Glenn? So what happens when you guys are wrong? Am I still a Tua lover? Am I still a 2 in ear? Like, give me a break. That's just an easy. Tell me you don't know football without telling me you don't know football. I know every rookie that we drafted is going to come out and play at a Pro Bowl level and save this franchise. Malik Willis, with his 6 career starts, is going to come out and be Josh Allen. I know. Caleb Douglas has 1 catch in preseason and is the next Randy Moss. I know. Even Doug agreed. Oh, man. It must be right if Doug said it. Oh, I'm a fake fan. It's all right. It is. Caleb Douglas is the new Randy Moss, right? Oh. Listen, again, I want the best for this football team. There's nothing that again, the reason I felt that the Tua Tagovailoa teams were capable of winning football games is the amount of talent that they surrounded Tua with. We replaced Tua. Yes, that's an upgrade. That's an upgrade in my opinion. Malik Willis is an upgrade over Tua Tagovailoa. But we stripped all the talent that was here that we surrounded Tua with. If Tua was on this football team, they'd win 3 games, 2 games, 1 game. It's nothing about Tua. If Tua was here instead of Malik right now, we'd win 1 game, if that. 2 games, if that. So it's not Tua. It's nothing to do with Tua. It's the Tyreek Hills and the Jalen Waddles and the people that we surrounded Tua with. It's cool. It's cool. You guys can think the way you think. I hope that you guys are right. I truly do. I hope that you come on here and say, "See, Big C, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're retarded. We were right. You were wrong." I hope that happens. I hope it does. I hope that does, because it means that the Miami Dolphins are a good football team. It really does. And that's all I truly want. I want my football team to be good. I could care less about being right. I could care less about being right. But I've watched a lot of football. I know how many rookies typically end up being top-notch players, especially year one. How many undrafted? We haven't made no huge splash free agent signings, unless you consider, you know, the Patriots guard, the tackle that we signed. Some people consider that a splash signing. If you consider that splash signing, then yeah, we made a bunch of splash signings. But besides Malik Willis and some rookies, who did we really add to this football team? Who did we add to this football team that makes them so much better? Sean, you ain't never told a lie. Doug just looks who he can agree to the most. That's all right, Pete. That's all right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. You're right, Pete. So why come here? Why come here? Why? If I'm so wrong, why come? Unsubscribe. That's what you got to do. I don't beg anybody to subscribe. I listen. I tell it how I feel. I don't have no narratives. I don't pretend. I don't pretend. It's all right. I don't listen. I don't care. I don't care. You can call me what you want to call me. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Again, I want to be wrong. How many of you can say that? I want to be wrong. Of course, you guys don't want to be wrong because you believe in superheroes and Santa Claus. Nah, I feel you're watching this season. That's truly what I feel. I think you 2 begging to be right now. Again, what makes me a 2 What makes me a 2 People want to be right so bad that people were wrong and right is part of it. A lot of this is opinion based, and people should not be hated or attacked for different opinions. Sean, I try to base my opinion strictly off logic. If you add a bunch of minimum contract players, what are minimum contract players typically? The bottom of the barrel. The bottom of the barrel free agents, right? If you're signing a minimum contract, a 1-year deal, it's a prove it deal because you haven't been very good while you've been in the league so far, right? Or you're an aging veteran, not what's the word I'm looking for? Not deserving of a long term deal, or you just shouldn't give them a long term deal because it's not smart money. What free agents have the Miami Dolphins added this offseason that are game changers? Name them. Name the free agents that the Dolphins have signed this offseason that are game changers. Who cares if, again, I said Malik's a upgrade over Tua. What more do I got to say? Tua would have been doing this. Who cares? Like, why are we still talking about him? The people that call people Tua ears want to talk about Tua more than anybody else. I swear to God. Malik is absolutely an upgrade at this point over Tua Tagovailoa. I believe that wholeheartedly. But the roster around Malik is not as good as the roster that we surrounded Tua with. Everybody will say that, oh, we gave Tua every weapon, every possible thing that we could give him, and he still couldn't win. You're right, we did. And now we've taken all those weapons and those pieces away. Yes, we still have a Devon Achane. We still have a Patrick Paul. We still have a Jordan Brooks. We still have an Aaron Brewer. But we had all those players last year when we won 8 games. What players don't we still have? We don't still have a Fitzpatrick. We don't still have a Bradley Chubb. We still don't have a Tyreek Hill. We still don't have a Jalen Waddle. We still don't have a Darren Waller. We still don't have a Rasul Douglas. We still don't have a Jack Jones. Pete, a lot of people were positive with Tua, though, is because we surrounded him with elite talent. We went and got him Tyreek and Waddle and the players I just mentioned. If you put Malik if you put Malik Willis on that 2023 team, I'd be super hyped. Yeah, hell yeah. Pete, if you don't think dead cap is an issue, you're absolutely crazy. How do you not think that dead cap determines how many players you can sign, the caliber players you can sign? If we didn't have all that dead cap, we could add depth. We could add some splash players. We could go add a couple receivers, a couple corners. Listen, I don't even want to get into it with people, like, again, because I don't think the way they think. They want to label me as something that I'm not. But that's cool. That's cool. Why wouldn't Pete? Why wouldn't I want to be wrong? I don't care. I don't care about this like some people do. I don't care about being right. I want to be wrong because I want success for the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, nobody want to hit. That's all right. Don't hit the like button. Don't do this. Don't do that. And that's okay, Miller. If you really feel like Caleb Douglas brings something, and if Chris Bell lives up to half the hype to be a good rookie 1-2 punch, Ollie with a full healthy offseason, got to be not that headed. But listen, I think Caleb Douglas at this point does bring something. I think Chris Bell brings. I started off the show saying that can significantly upgrade this offense. Significantly upgrade. If Chris Bell can come back and Caleb Douglas can continue what he's doing so far, that absolutely upgrades this offense. And you should feel pretty positive about what you got going into the season. But at the same time, this team's got we're gonna experience hiccups for all the reasons I've named over and over and over again. Hit that like button, support the channel. At the very least, support the channel. Again, I could get on here and tell you exactly what you want to hear. I could get on here and tell you exactly what you want to hear. You can't compare the injury. See, Glenn, the injury recovery for a wide receiver and a quarterback is completely different, though. And most doctors would tell you that. A quarterback doesn't have to cut like a wide receiver does. He doesn't have to cut like a wide receiver does. So a quarterback should make it back before a wide receiver does. Pete, you are absolutely wrong about everything you say. Nothing that you say comes to you're crazy. You're crazy. The things you say are mine. They hurt my mind. They hurt my head. You switch up your opinion more than you change your underwear, bro. Like, come on, let's be real. You on your show saying that the Miami Dolphins players are blackballing Quinn Ewers. They're not trying for Quinn Ewers. They're sabotaging them. Like, think about the things you say, bro. Think about the things you say. What I asked you, Big C, before the game, if the first team marches up and down the field, would it be something you expected from a physical O-line? I'm not impressed the ceiling is high for me, Big C. Listen, I was happy. I was super happy. I made a short saying I was super happy. They did what they were supposed to do. But it was against the Washington Commanders' second team defense. That's what they're supposed to do. This offensive line, if completely healthy, should be one of the better offensive lines in football, in my opinion. At the very least, a top 10 unit if they're all healthy. You got Devon Achane, who I think is a top 5 back. Malik Willis has all the traits to be a successful quarterback in this league. Caleb Douglas has outperformed what I thought he would be, what he'd be doing at this point. He has. And I'm happy for it. I'm happy. I just can't crown him the next great wide receiver. Not quite yet. He's got to show me more. He's got to show me some more. Richard says the Chris Bell activation is concerning to me. I remember the player Yatel Green, whose career was ruined because he came back too early. I mean, that's something you always got to worry about, but you would hope that the doctors and the team physicians wouldn't allow him to risk himself like that. So if Chris Bell comes back, I feel confident that he's ready to come back. Malik is a game changer. He can definitely change a game. He's dynamic. He's got a very strong arm. He can do it with his legs. He definitely can. But he still needs talent around him. Pete, I talk about your channel because you say off the wall stuff. Take it in a good way, Pete, that I check out your channel. And not that I'm anything special. Not saying that whatsoever. But I pay attention to what you say. It entertains me. But you do be saying some off the wall stuff over there. So I do address it. If you don't want something addressed, I guess don't speak about it, right? Say what, Jocelyn? He hasn't started a full season, but he has athletic traits. He has dynamic traits. That's what I mean, Jocelyn. He has dynamic traits. We don't know what Malik's going to look like for a full season. And anybody that pretends to know is lying to themselves. Who cares, Cap? That's what I mean. Like, who cares about Tua? Let's stop talking about him. I could care less. And no disrespect, but who cares? But I'm the Tuaneer. Because he was here we go, another because this guy did it, my guy can do it. I'm so sick of people doing that. Well, this guy did it, so this means it's going to happen with this guy. I agree with that, Pete. You could put Tua on the Seahawks team last year and he won't win. We gave Tua all the pieces we could possibly give him, and it wasn't enough. Caleb Douglas, Kevin Coleman Jr., Trey Moore, Jacob Rodriguez, Jonah, KP, all certified dogs. Miller, if you believe every one of those players is going to play at a high level this year, you're mistaken. If that's the case, John Eric Sullivan is the greatest drafter of all time. You're right. You're right, Pete. You're right. Kenshaw, how far I gotta scroll up? It might be easier for you to repost the question. Before the game, if the first team marches up and down the field, would that be something you expect from a physical O-line? I'm not impressed. The ceiling is high for me, Big C. If the first team marches up and down the field, would that be something you expect from a physical O-line? Yeah, I mean, if your starters are in there, especially against backups, then yeah, you should you should definitely march up and down the field, right? What's good, Glenn? How good? What's good? Let's go through the divisions. Are they better than everybody in the chat? Are the Miami Dolphins better than the Oakland Raiders? Are the Las Vegas Raiders? Are the Dolphins better than the Raiders? I'd say yeah. I'd say yes. I'm going to give my team the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say yes. Are the Dolphins better than the Chargers? I'm going to say no. What you're doing is messed up. You just don't know yet. Glenn, that is such a crazy statement to me. So you don't go into the season knowing who the better teams in the NFL are? Are you being real? So no season you go into the NFL. Every year the league starts, you have no idea who the good teams are and the bad teams are. Is that what you're saying, Glenn? Is that what you're saying, Glenn? That every year you go into the year and you don't know who the good and the bad teams are. No, you don't. I thought Chiefs and Baltimore were better teams last year. Wow. Okay. That's kind of crazy to me that you guys don't know who the, for the most part, you know who the, I think for the most part, we could get most of the playoff teams correct for next year. How many playoff teams are there total? How many playoff teams are there total? You don't know what injuries will obviously, Bonnie. Yeah, I mean, injuries, certain injuries happen and stuff. But for the most part, I think we go into the season and let's say there's 14 playoff teams. For the most part, I think most of us could name 10 of those off jump. Yeah, are there some surprises every year? Yeah. Are there some teams that fall off that you expect to be better? Yes. But for the most part, I think that we know who the better teams in the league are. P, I'm not even addressing the things you say because you're so all over the place. Playoff contenders are different than playoff teams. They're still better, some of the better teams in the league, Glenn. Are the Rams a playoff team, Glenn? Or you don't know? It's not Miller. Are the Rams a playoff team? I'd say yes. Are the Eagles a playoff team? I'd say yes. Are the Broncos a playoff team? I'd say yes. Bills a playoff team? I'd say yes. Pete, you have the most delusional takes on your channel. You went from a playoff team to a 0-win team because Stillman took over as the president. Like, don't give me this. You've said that Jacoby Brissett, Skylar Thompson. Like, give me a break, Pete. Give me a break. Such delusion. Such delusion. It's okay. It's really all right. I hope that you guys are right, and you can believe me or not. It makes little difference to me. Teams don't have bigger issues than the Miami Dolphins. No teams have a bigger issue than the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, no teams have bigger issues than the Miami Dolphins right now. But go check out Pete's channel. It's definitely a good time. What is the biggest issue with Miami right now? Depth, for sure. Depth is a major issue, and a lack of talent at certain positions. Cornerback's going to be a major issue for this Miami Dolphins team. The wide receiver room is looking better than what I thought it was going to look, especially if Chris Bell can get back quicker. And if Caleb Douglas can continue to improve. Scotty says, I went through the roster last night. I've got 7 total players who would be considered automatic starters on any other team. 7 out of 90. Tell him, Scotty. Tell him, Scotty. And Scotty, long time no see, brother. Tell him, Scotty. Hit that like button. Help the channel grow. Jocelyn, I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Oh, Vanessa, you're in for a treat. Go listen to Pete's channel for 11 hours straight. You'll hear a bunch of stuff. He goes live for 10, 11 hours at a time. Again, the Miami Dolphins have a lot of issues. Depth is probably the biggest. And I know Pete thinks that the dead cap doesn't affect the team whatsoever, but that's how come we don't have any depth. You had to fill out the roster with a bunch of minimum contract guys. You had to fill out some of the starting unit with minimum contract guys because the lack of salary cap space. On defense, what can't you do or you will lose? I don't understand the question. Malik's elite. Frederick, you have no basis to say that. He's got elite traits. I'll give you that. He's got elite traits. I'll give you that. But you have no basis to say that he's an elite player in the National Football League. Yes, Glenn. And it's hurt the team as far as getting quality players a certain, like the cornerback room. We could have added a quality starter. I'm not worried because this isn't an injury prone team anymore. So the Miami Dolphins aren't going to suffer any injuries. They talk about sabotaging Quinn Ewers. That's why he played bad against the Commanders. They talk about all types of stuff. There's some good stuff over there, though. People, that's the craziest statement I've ever heard, that they're not going to get, we ain't going to have injuries. Quarterback two is my number one trade target. Why, Miller? If Malik Willis gets hurt, the Miami Dolphins season is absolutely shattered regardless. I don't think that there's a major need for a number two quarterback. Quinn Ewers showed that he can win in this league. He showed that he can play good football in this league. I don't know what's going on with Quinn right now, but he showed that he can play pretty good football. But if Malik goes down, it's shot anyway. Yeah, Bonnie, that's a crazy statement, right? Scotty says not injury prone. The guy we brought in to back up, guaranteed injured, just got injured himself and is out for the remainder of the season. People don't realize that this offensive line is an injury away from like being in a bad position. If Quinn played good, it would diminish Coach and Malik. So that's why Quinn didn't play good. So that's why Quinn played bad on purpose, or they made Quinn play bad on purpose? Is that what you're saying, Pete? Exactly. See, but which one? So Quinn played bad on purpose, or they made Quinn play bad, Pete? Halfley treated the O-line just like Greer. Overdrafted left tackle to play guard and restructured AJ. The biggest setup of all time. Cap, I was a little disappointed in you the other day. I ain't gonna lie. You was naming all the Miami Dolphins podcasters around, and you left me straight out that list. That's all right though. That's all right though. Again, the Miami Dolphins, I think the offense, if Chris Bell comes back, is gonna. This offense has a shot. It really does have a shot of being a halfway decent this year. I don't know how good Chris Bell is gonna be coming back off that injury. I think it's gonna still take time, even when he gets activated. Lots of times with that ACL injury, it's a mental thing. You gotta overcome. You gotta learn to trust your knee again. You gotta learn to trust your body again. I think that's a major thing people forget about, is that, you know, it does such a damage to your psyche when you suffer such a major injury that no longer you no longer trust your your natural football movements anymore. So when you come back onto the field, you don't naturally play the way that you used to. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I think it has affected a lot of people that way. They are rushing Bell. It's a mistake. Yeah, I mean, well, Scotty, Glenn says because Patrick Mahomes is coming back that Chris Bell can come back. I tried to explain that quarterbacks are completely different than wide receivers, but obviously I was wrong about that too. I was obviously wrong about that too. I'm just a two in ear that is delusional and stupid, and all my takes are bogus. Did you see the Giants? This is the preseason game to come back for. Chris Bell's not playing in that preseason game, Miller. He's not coming back that fast, my friend. Did you really think that? Did you really think he was playing in the preseason game against the Giants? Who knows? Maybe he does. Sure. I'm going to stop trying to predict. Yeah, Scotty, I agree. Maybe Bell thinks he's close. Anybody ask him? I didn't. I mean, I'm just going off, obviously, reports from camp. Poupar said he wasn't running very fast. Maybe he is ready. Who knows? Maybe he is. Typically, it takes him a little bit longer than that, but he doesn't make cuts like a wide receiver does. Does he when he runs? Yeah, he doesn't make cut. If you ever watched Pat Mahomes run, it's kind of funny and entertaining the way the motion, the way he does run. He doesn't run like a Lamar Jackson does. I bet he gets a drive. I bet you he doesn't, Miller. Absolutely doesn't. Not zero chance. I Dolman with a super chat. Appreciate it. Show Sunday's AM show. I dropped a comment about Dolphins and they played one of your short clips. Yeah, I got busy. I was actually not going to be able to do today's show. I had a doctor's appointment. I had to get some blood taken. But yeah, I got in. I'm sorry about that. I'll be back next week. I appreciate your name dropping me. Appreciate that, Dolman. Thank you for the super chat. Means a lot. Also, membership, you get to watch the games with me on Sundays. I think the first Sunday, I'm going to open it up to everybody. So everybody that wants to watch the game with me on Sunday, the first Sunday of the year can. And then everyone after that will be strictly for memberships. We're going to have a good time. We're going to play some drinking games. We're going to do some stuff. It's going to be a good time. So make sure if you guys want to chill out, have a good time, watch the Dolphins game, and just talk it up and interact. We gonna do it here every game day. And again, if you can't handle the bag language, you probably want to stay out the chat, because when things go bad, I don't do too well with it. I be talking I be getting in my feelings. Malik balling out, looking way better than, again, with the Tua thing. And then you got Fred, that is Pete's cheerleader down here. Glenn, thank you for being a member for 4 months. I know we don't agree on much. You're half empty. I am half full. You know, Glenn, I appreciate everybody. You know what I mean? I appreciate the way people think and the way people feel. When I come up with what I have to say, I think about all the football I've ever watched, all the teams I've ever seen being built, all the players that I've ever seen come along, and I gauge my opinion based upon what I've seen. If I haven't seen it very often, then the likelihood of that happening. I'm a very big numbers guy. Percentages, this, that, and the third. So if 43% of first round draft picks become successful in the NFL, I take that number and it holds a great deal of value to me. Maybe it doesn't to other people, but to me it does. Of course, is every year 43% right on the head? No, some years it might be 60, some years it might be 40, some years it might be 70, some years it might be 20. But I'm a big numbers guy. And if the numbers don't add up and it doesn't make sense to me, I just can't go along with it. Tell us your thoughts on the opening drive with Malik. I think Malik did everything he was supposed to do. He got out the pocket. He completed some short passes to Malik Washington. He threw a couple passes downfield. One Caleb Douglas made a great catch on. The other Caleb Douglas made a mental error on. He scrambled. He ran for some yardage when he got in trouble. Was able to get down and didn't take unnecessary hits. And Devon Achane did a very good job running the football. We know what Devon Achane is. And the offensive line looked very good. Caden Proctor was pulling, looked beautiful doing that. Yeah, I was super happy with that first drive from the Miami Dolphins against the Commanders. But again, the Commanders had their second string defense out there, so I'm only going to give it so much credit. Jonah looked really good. But again, second string. Glenn, the teams that you've seen win for the Miami Dolphins, that's not the way football's played anymore, brother. Ask Fred about what? Ask Fred about what? How he feel about what? I'll let people. I'll send the link out one person at a time. Say your piece. Say what you guys say, and then the next person. And I'm super happy about that. And I never wrote Jonah off. So, all this, Big C, you think that drive alone makes him better quarterback than Tua? No, Jocelyn, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Tua wasn't the same quarterback when he left here. He wasn't the same quarterback. Tua's not the same quarterback he was. So at this point, yeah, I think that Malik's probably the better quarterback. What up, Fred?
Yeah. What's up, Big C, man? Everything cool, man. Any background, any fares, any noise, man? Anything like that
Coming
coming
from
from my
you?
part? Yeah, coming
No,
from my
I don't
part.
hear. No, I don't hear nothing.
Oh, okay, man. Like, yeah, man. Well, Big C, Pete's cheerleader, bro. Come on, man. Come on,
I
man.
mean,
Now look,
I
now
mean,
look, man. First of all, man, I'm a girl. I'm a 61-year-old man, bro. I have my own takes on things, man. Do I listen to Pete? Yeah, I listen to him. Can his things be off the wall sometimes? Yeah, they can. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But bro, I go over there. We go over there to all have fun. You know what I mean? Of course, some crazy stuff will be said. Yeah, we all laugh it off. But me, bro, me myself, I know what's going on with the team. You know what I'm saying, man? I mean, do I think we're playoffs? No. But if you ask me, 7 wins for this team, I call it a great season. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say great. I'm going to say a good season, considering this roster and this and what they're going through. So seven wins is a good season to me. And you know, that's all it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very excited for Malik Willis, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, he went up against some second, some maybe third stringers on that first drive. Hell, I mean, there could have been 2 or 3 starters on that Commanders team. I don't know. Not too familiar with the Commanders team, but I happen to think, me myself, that he'd have done okay against maybe the starters on that first drive. We don't know. But
I mean,
you
you
know,
can only go up against who they put in front of you. You know what I mean? So I mean, I can't hold
exactly,
that
bro.
against. I can't hold
Exactly.
that against him.
Oh, okay, man. So like the word hopium is made up. If you ask me, made up word. Uh, I always got hope for the Dolphins, man. For the Dolphins, even when things are glim. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need somebody to tell me, about building me up with hope or anything like that, man. Like I said, I've been watching the Dolphins every bit, 45, 47 years, bro. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm going to always have hope. And that's just what it is, man. I know how to be my own fan. I don't need nobody to listen to anybody to tell me what to look for and what's not going to happen, what's probably going to happen, anything like that, man. I have my own assumptions. And, I mean, that's just all where I'm at with a big C. That's all, bro.
And listen, I've had hopium myself. You know what I mean? And people say, "Oh, you're a two and ear." This, first off, I'm not a two and ear whatsoever. Was there a point in time that I thought that the Miami Dolphins could win with Tua? Yeah, I did. But it wasn't necessarily so much to do with Tua. It was about the team that we put around Tua. You know what I mean? Last year, I
Mm.
had a bunch of hopium that our rookies could come in. Kenneth Grant, Jonas Vayanaya. I was hoping that Tua was coming back healthy. We still had Tyreek. We had Waddle. We had Achan. I felt like this offense could still perform at a high level. So I had that hopium last year when a lot of people were down on this football team. And obviously
Mhm.
they were down on Tua. And I had that hope that Tua could succeed because he had Tyreek. He had Achan because he had Waddle still. So I get the hopium. But this year
Oh,
is a little bit different because of what the Miami Dolphins got to go through. Their backs are
right.
completely up against the wall.
I
They've
agree with you.
not
I agree with you.
not only
Go ahead.
the lack of talent in certain positions, not only the dead cap space, but the fact that we got a whole new offensive system, a whole new defensive system, another rookie head coach. You know what I mean? A first time starter at
Yeah.
quarterback. All those things matter. And
I know Big
when you
C, like,
wrap all those things into a ball, it just, you know what I mean?
hey, Big C, with me, man, it's like, come on, man, it's almost it's almost a year for football season to get back. But with the off season, bro, damn near a year, bro. Of course, I'm excited, bro, for some Dolphin football. You know what I mean, bro? And yes, I have a question for you, Big C. Like, how many, if you understand this question, how many issues do you think were handled just at the quarterback position alone, bro? If you understand my question, like what kind of issues were addressed just out of the difference of these quarterbacks, bro. You understand what I mean?
Well, I mean, obviously Tua,
Okay,
the
go
mobility
ahead.
of Tua, we couldn't run the ball. He couldn't ever take off. There was no risk of Tua running the football for a first down. So that was a
Okay,
major issue. Teams never had to worry about that. The
okay.
lack of arm strength. Obviously,
Mhm.
teams didn't have to worry about him going over the top of and beating them deep. So the defenses were able to focus a great deal of their attention in
Mhm.
that, 10, 15, 20-yard range. And that makes defending the field a lot easier. So
Okay,
obviously, Tua's lack of elite traits made it easier on the defense. There's no
okay.
question
So
that
this, okay,
Malik tests and challenges a defense more than Tua ever could.
okay, okay. Big C. So that's three things you gave me right there, right? That's like three things you gave me right there, right? You know,
Yeah.
I could probably add on maybe two more, man. Like I'm going to say helps the he helps the offensive line, and Malik helps the offensive line out uh even more than to it did just by his ability to evade rushes, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna throw that in there. You know, I mean, I'm gonna even go as more to say that I think defensive fronts have to be disciplined when they defend Malik Willis, bro. So, bro, that's five things, bro. You named three, I named two. I agree with you three that you named. I hope you can agree with my two that I named. That's five things. Bro, I'm excited for that right there. And me myself, I think that the offense has a real good chance of keeping defenses really off balance, bro. And I'm talking about legitimate defenses, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for that, man. And look, you may have guys in the back or whatever. I'm not going to be too much longer, man. But anyway, Big C, I'm just excited for the Dolphins, man. Thanks for
And
having me, bro. Go
there's
ahead, go ahead. I'll
there's
stay. Go
nothing
ahead,
wrong
go
with
ahead.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I agree with what you said. He makes it easier on the offensive line. Uh, but we got to realize that Malik is also a first time starter as far as a 17-game season goes. So, he's gonna have his hiccups. You know what I mean? He's gonna have his
Exactly.
issues.
Of
Uh,
course.
his scrambling ability. He's not very much bigger than Tua Tagovailoa, so he's not Josh Allen size. So there's the risk of injury with him taking off. He did
I
show me in
understand.
that preseason game that he obviously pays attention to it. He's not trying to
Right.
risk his body. He was able to get out of bounds. He slid before the first down marker, lived to play another day. I
Mhm.
just and he does improve the offense in those categories, but he doesn't have a Tyreek Hill on this team. He doesn't have a Jalen Waddle on this team so far. And yeah, you can have
Right.
high hopes for Douglas, but Caleb Douglas is a rookie and he has not played one regular season snap. So to act like Caleb Douglas is better than Jalen Waddle or this great player already, uh, maybe he will be, but chances are first year he's gonna I have hopes that he's going to be decent, but I don't think he's going to be Jalen Waddle decent. I don't think he's going to. He's
Wait,
definitely
wait,
not
wait,
going
wait, 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 wait. Well, with that right there, Big C, I have to disagree with you on that right there. However, I think Douglas is a more dominant wide receiver than Jalen Waddle, bro. Simply for the fact that this guy can go over top of anybody with 50-50 caught balls. You know what I'm saying? I believe his speed is comparable to what Waddle's is. You know what I mean, bro? And come on, man, you have to admit Waddle disappeared in a whole lot of games last season,
I'm not.
if I'm not
I'm not saying he
mistaken.
didn't.
One
I'm not saying
100
he didn't.
yard game. I mean, come on, man.
And I'm not.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not the biggest Jalen Waddle guy, but Jalen Waddle was the higher prospect. That Jalen Waddle was an established player. So for Caleb Douglas to equal out Jalen Waddle this year is going to be very difficult for him to do. Jalen Waddle has been a 1,400-yard receiver in the NFL before. Caleb Douglas hasn't had one catch in this league.
That's right. So
And,
we don't
and
know.
it's
So
gonna
we don't
it's gonna
know.
get it's gonna get tougher for him. Defenses are gonna there's not gonna be so much room. He ain't gonna be so wide open all the time. And
I
especially if he
understand.
starts making a name for himself,
Mhm.
teams are gonna focus on him. So
I-
I think Caleb Douglas is gonna struggle more than people think he's gonna.
Well, yeah, that's probably that may be the case, CB, especially with really no other talent on the other side at wide receiver. I mean, it will be hard for Douglas, I imagine.
Well, if
So
Chris
you
Bell
know,
comes
but
back, Chris Bell comes back.
but
That's
you know, I don't want
definitely
to. I don't
a help
tell you
for
the
him.
truth, man. They're talking about Chris Bell being back early. Tell you the truth, man. I don't want to see it. I don't think he's ready. I don't think he should come back before the half of the season. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think he should
Yeah.
be back till maybe week 8 or something, bro. You know, I don't want to see him rush back, bro. And just be patient with Bell, and you know, I don't want to see that. But you know,
I
thanks for
appreciate
having
you,
me, Big
Fred.
C, man. I appreciate chopping it up with you, bro, and keep doing what you do, bro.
I appreciate you, Fred. Thank you.
Right, man.
Peace. Cat.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Cat.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. What's up? What's
Can
up,
you
my
hear me?
brother? Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I mean, okay. So we're just talking about Jalen Waddle, and he's with Denver now, right? So
Yep.
my thing is, in 2023, the greatest show on surf, whatever you want to call them, ended up blowing out the Denver Broncos in 2023. Without Jalen Waddle in that game, I believe it was like 70 to something. Okay, long story short, 2023, that Denver Broncos team ended up starting from scratch with a new coach, new everything.
Yep.
And we still put boot to ass on that team. But what record did they finish with in that season? Can you tell me that real quick?
I'm not sure what they finished with in 2023.
Can somebody fact check that for me real quick? Because just follow me here. Because my point being is, we still put boot to ass on that team, and they were pretty much starting all over with a salary cap that was, I think, over 90 million.
Not that year they weren't. Not that year. The next year they were salary caps.
Okay, but just follow what I'm saying here. Both years, even with the year you just mentioned, they had an over 500 record with a new salary cap, new coach, new everything. So why is it that's another team as an example of starting all over? Why is it that they can do it in the AFC West, but we're so far behind? We can never catch up. We won't be there until maybe 3 or 4 more years. Why is it that with us? But last year we saw more than a handful of teams do it and turn it around in less than 1 year, and the Broncos did it in less than a year and a half with the salary cap hell that everybody keeps talking about. So why is it that they can overcome salary cap hell, but we can't do it?
Well, first off, the salary cap hell that you're speaking of is double, which makes a difference. It's double.
Yeah, but you're still starting with regardless if it's double or not, the roster's still brand new. You can't add double the roster or minus the roster.
Well,
the roster's the roster.
That was the second year of the.
Okay, but then it goes back to my 2023 years with the Broncos. We put boot to ass, and I think they still finished with more than 8 wins or 7 wins.
They had 8 wins. Not to mention they had a Super Bowl winning head coach, right?
But they started from scratch.
Not complete scratch. Just like we're not starting from complete scratch, but they didn't have as many minimum salary cap guys as we did. They didn't have a rookie head coach. They had a Super Bowl winning head coach. Like, all that stuff matters. All the small things matter.
Okay,
I don't know what their strength of schedule was that year.
So you're telling me that the general manager we have that has Super Bowl experience as well doesn't equivalent to a coach coming into the league with
what Super
coattail
Bowl
riding?
experience does he have?
I mean, he put Green Bay together since Aaron Rodgers has been there, so he's helped put that roster together since they won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, the general manager?
Yeah. I mean, he's been the assistant to the assistant coming up the rankings, but he's been with that organization for a while.
We're talking about head coaches, though.
Okay, but the same thing. A head coach, general manager hires the head coach.
Yeah, but a head coach, the job is completely different. You can be
You
a
won't
good
have
general
the,
manager.
you won't have the job without the general manager, is my point.
I feel you, Cat, but you can have a good general manager and a bad head coach, though. You can't.
Oh yeah,
you
of
don't
course.
agree with that?
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, and Scotty got the numbers. Scotty's great with numbers. The Broncos had 32 million in dead cap in 2023. In 2024, they had 89 million. The Miami Dolphins have 180 million.
That's fine. That's fine. That's 70
more.
That's 70 million less than what the Broncos had in 2 years. What's the difference?
What do you mean? What's the difference, Cat?
You just named 30 million and 80 million. That's almost 110 million in the span of 2 years of dead cap.
Yes, in 1 year we got 180. 1 year.
What's the difference in 70, bro?
Do you know how much money? Do you know how many players you can sign for $70 million in a year?
And you know how many contracts you can manipulate and kicking the can down the road with 70 million? We could do a lot with a lot like that, bro. Like, come on. Like, it's tomato, potato, bro. You're naming 70 million that can be manipulated.
Cap, you only got 180 million to build your whole roster, brother.
I get that, but you're talking about numbers that can be manipulated. I don't put stock into those numbers because they can get manipulated.
There's no manipulating that number.
Okay, but we could have manipulated it if we didn't have the advantage of paying two, and we could have put the fifth-year option because that number equated to double as well.
Listen, you're right. The Tua signing.
That's my point. One player can make a difference in a salary cap. That's my point. One player, not the whole roster.
Cap, if you don't see that $100 million is a big deal.
No, my point is you're making it a big deal. Look, you're making it a big deal, right?
It is a big deal.
Okay, so why did the Denver Broncos make it not a big deal and ended up winning?
Again, they had a lot more money to spend than we did to fill out their roster.
Bro, they had the same problems. They got rid of the quarterback and overpaid for it in the process. And they ended up paying the price for doing it twice.
But they still had 70. They still had a shit ton more money to spend.
They got rid of Osweiler. They got rid of Osweiler. They got rid of Wilson, and they got rid of Peyton. I think at the time that he left or whatever. But they still ended up being in salary cap hell. But everybody ended up seeing them compete all the time. Like what? I mean, to the point where salary cap hell puts you back how many years? Because they've been competing ever since.
Cap, it's a complete different story.
Okay, it's a complete different story with us, but the teams I'm naming you now, there was no problem with Jacksonville, no problem with freaking the Chicago Bears. There wasn't a problem with
no team has had this much.
It wasn't a problem with the Carolina Panthers. It wasn't a problem with the Washington Commanders.
You're not listening.
It wasn't a problem with the Patriots who did it in less than 1 year. Come on, bro. Why does it have to be over analyzing with us, but all these teams can turn it around in less than a year and a half?
No, because you're being hard-headed right now. You're not listening.
No, I'm just giving you names, and you just can't give me. You can't give me anything back.
You're not fucking listening. That's why you're not taking it in. You're not taking it in. Yeah, these teams might have 20 million in dead cap, not 180 million. Not 180 million cap.
So you're pretty much just throwing, like, not even paying attention to what I just told you about Denver, right?
You're comparing a $2 steak to a $150 steak.
Well, that $2 steak knows how to make filet mignon in less than a year and a half.
No, they don't.
Scotty just gave you the numbers, bro.
Yeah, and you're wrong. You're wrong, Cat.
I'm not wrong or I'm not right. I'm just telling you that both teams have salary
you're
cap
definitely
hell.
wrong. There's a difference. They're not equal. They're not the same.
Okay. So all the other teams I just mentioned to you now, what's the difference with them turning it around in 1 year?
Because they had a lot more money to fill out the roster, like I just said. I can't.
So what? The Washington Commanders had a hell of a roster, right? With who? Just the quarterback, because they didn't have anything else.
They did. No team just had a quarterback.
Man,
we got a record number of minimum contract guys.
So Jacksonville can do it with Trevor Lawrence and ETN, but we can't do it.
Oh my God, here we go
I'm
again.
giving you names. I'm giving you names.
No,
I'm
you're
giving you
not. But
names.
you're not accounting for the amount of decent players they were able to sign. Not the
And
big
we don't
name
have
guys.
we don't have
Not the big name
decent players.
guys.
No. Now you're saying we don't have decent players. Now you're moving the goalposts.
Oh my God, I'm saying we got a bunch of minimum contract players. I know that. Yeah, we got we got a couple okay players. Scotty,
now they're okay.
If you want to, if you want to change everything, I say the Fisher narrative. That's one thing. All right, Kat.
No. If I wanted to do that, I could do that. But I'm giving you.
That's exactly.
Data.
That's
you don't
what,
like the data, though.
You're not giving me real life data,
bro. Scotty and me are giving you numbers that overpassed everything that Denver has done with dead cap.
Scotty's giving you numbers in support of what I'm saying, not in support of what you're
but
saying.
it still matches to what I'm saying. They had more than 100 million in dead cap. Bro, they had more than 100 million in dead cap. He just told you that. It don't matter, bro. Same thing with us.
So, this team had 100 million in dead cap in 5 years. That don't matter,
bro. You can have up to 5 years, but if you're winning in those 5 years, what's the difference?
First off, they weren't winning.
Broncos had over. He just told you they had 8 wins in 2023
8 wins is winning.
A revamped roster.
8 wins is winning.
It's not losing.
I mean, it is. They had a losing record.
They finished with what, 8 and 9?
That's a losing record.
I'll take 8 and 9 for this year.
With a Super Bowl winning. No, I wouldn't. That's terrible. 8 and 9 leaves us in purgatory. That's the worst possible outcome for the season.
So the worst outcome for this season would be under 500, like what, 5 and 12 or 5 and 13?
Which is worse? Either be bad enough so we can get a good enough draft pick, or
here we go with the draft picks, bro. You're so worried about draft capital every year instead of us improving.
I'm worried about that. Is how you improve,
bro.
Drafting
I
good players.
I don't look forward to the draft every year. I look forward to being productive and winning. That's how you get better.
Again, 8 and 9 is not better. That doesn't get you better.
It's better than 5 and 13.
No, it's not.
All right. Okay.
It's not.
Okay. My point being is that the Broncos can do it, we can do it. They did it with 3 quarterbacks they got rid of and paid the price for it. That's my point. And they did it in less than 5 years.
Your point is, again, I think we'll do it in less than 5 years. I think next year we'll be a very good team. We'll be able to put together a team with more than just a bunch of minimum contract guys.
Okay, so you're saying we're going to get better with a bunch of minimal contract guys? That's for sure. I'm lost here because you're saying we're not any good, but we're going to be better next year. So that means we need to be pretty good. I said we're going to get
better because we'll have a team that's not made up of minimum contract guys.
So you think next year we're going to have a full roster of different contracts, and we're going to have the salary cap fixed in less than 1 year?
Yeah, we'll be out. We'll be out. Yes, next year we don't have nearly the amount of dead cap that we have this year. We got a record number, an NFL record number of dead cap this year.
No, I know it's a record, but it doesn't mean it can't be overpassed. I just don't understand how next year we're going to be fine next year, but we're going to suck this year. How does that work?
What do you mean? Because you add a bunch of players. You give Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan another draft to put together the team that they want.
I just don't understand why they can't do it now.
You give them a free agency period that they can add some pieces besides just a quarterback.
I get that, but I just don't understand why can't we do it now if you think we're going to be good.
Oh, Cap, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, if you can't understand, I don't know what to say.
I mean, that's the same thing I was saying about Tua with you last year and the year before that.
JD, do you really believe that? Do you really believe that?
What do you say?
Nothing.
I can't see. But you get my point, though, bro. It's like, okay, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I'm tired of hearing about the dead cap stuff if I just named you teams that can turn it around in less than a year and a half with dead cap problems.
They're not in the same situation, Cap. Yeah, teams got dead cap and teams build good rosters. Yep, they do. But not the amount that we have, Cap. That makes it makes a difference whether you want to believe it or not. It does.
Let me ask you this. Chris Bell getting activated. Don't you think that's going to try to help us to improve the defense more now that we have another offensive component?
I don't think that helps us. defense improve, I think it helps the offense a great deal.
Okay,
if
but
he can come
my
back
point
and
is,
live up to
my
that
point is,
first
we were
round
talking
draft
My
stock.
point is, we were talking about helping the offense to have another weapon, but now that we have a weapon supposedly coming back, regardless if it's a rookie or not, it's still viewed as a talented prospect on the offense. Isn't it just going to give us more of a chance to just invest on the defense?
Invest what?
What do you mean invest what? You know what problems we got. You just said we were thin in secondary, right?
Do you think they're going to go out and sign someone that is a splashy player?
They sure as hell ain't going after receiver now.
I don't think they were going after receiver in the first place.
Well, regardless,
and we don't know when Chris Bell's going to be. We don't know when Chris Bell's going to come.
That's fair.
But my point going to actually be back.
No, that's fair. That's a fair analysis. We don't know that, but we wouldn't be hearing what we're hearing today. My point is, you can invest on the defense if you know you're going to have an offense that's going to be competitive in the receiving room, which people were worried about. I mean, do you want to go tight end and get John, or do you want to help the secondary? You want to help this defense?
I mean, I think the defense. I think the corner room is a bigger issue at this point. So probably a corner.
That's what I'm saying, man. I just don't. I mean, we get hyped up with the names, but if we get more bodies in here, I mean, we end up finding names. You got to have the bodies to be in here, though.
No, we got bodies. We got bodies. We just don't got.
Like everybody, Marco Wilson. Everybody's sleeping on Marco Wilson. Marco Wilson is a good defensive player, bro. But that's just my 2 cents, man. I'm to the point right now where I just keep hearing, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We can't do it. We won't do it. But a quarter of the league did it though, in less than a year and a half.
Not in the same situation, Cap. It's not the same. Two things. Two things are not the same.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll see. We shall see.
We will definitely will see. And listen, Cap. I hope you're right. I hope this team makes a playoff run. I do. I really do. And people can say that I don't, but I really do.
I'm just saying, if you really do think that means you believe in the team. That's my point. So I just don't understand why we have to wait.
I hope that they do. I don't believe this team will, but I hope that they do.
Yeah, because if you're gonna have this 5-year talk, we're gonna do it in less than 5 years.
I never said 5 year. I think that next year we'll have a much better team to be able to compete. I think we'll be in a much better situation.
That's all, man. I mean, just, compete. I just don't understand why we would not be able to compete. And if Scotty's saying that he only has 7 guys out of the 90-man roster, I mean, I just hope those 7 are on offense or 7 on defense. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're either giving me 14 on both sides of the ball, or you're telling me one side is dominant.
Well, I think the offensive side definitely has got more pieces than the defensive side.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think Chris Bell potentially coming back early is absolutely a positive for this football team. But again, that lack of depth for this football team is a major issue, and it definitely has me worried if we suffer any types of major injuries. Scotty says 4 offense, 3 defense.
That's fair.
Again, last year's team, we went 8-9, right? What did we add? We added Malik and we added some rookie players. What did we lose? We lost Tyreek. We lost Waddle. We lost Jalen Phillips. We lost Bradley Chubb. We lost Fitzpatrick. We lost Rasul Douglas. We lost Jack Jones.
I'm just saying, though, man, the Denver Broncos got rid of 3 quarterbacks. That's
quite a few guys. That's quite a few.
The Broncos got rid of 3 quarterbacks.
That we lost.
They got rid of Russell Wilson, and right after that, they started competing with a rookie quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we kind of got a rookie quarterback, sort of.
That's what I'm saying. Like, both things can be true, man. Like, I get what you're saying with the salary cap hell, but they did it with a brand new quarterback.
You're not taking into account that they have a Super Bowl winning head coach, though, and we got a rookie head coach that's going to have his own issues. Do I think Jeff Hafley is the guy for the job? Sure, but do I think he's going to still have certain issues he's going to have to deal with as a rookie head coach? I do. It's normal.
No, yeah, it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. But yeah, man, just wanted to get my 2 cents in there, man. Hopefully later on everybody starts popping some streaming and stuff today, because it's good news, man. It's not bad news at all.
It's definitely good news. Definitely a positive move for the Miami Dolphins. All right, Cap, I appreciate you.
Take it easy.
Peace. Glenn, sorry about the wait, brother. Glenn, you still there? Glenn, you there?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Rough day, huh?
You know, I hate feeling like I'm bashing my football team because I try to speak the truth.
Then stop bashing it.
Listen, I'm not trying to bash it. I'm trying to speak my truth. If you don't want to listen to my truth, that's fine. You know, if you don't want to believe the things that I'm saying,
here's some of the things you're right about. Hey, this team has 22 and what do you call it? Only had 80 something million. But there's also context to it. You know, they had 89 million, right? They only had in cap space, but they only had 13 rookies they had to worry about, or didn't help the team. Only 13 rookies. We have 22, so we're depending more on rookies, which could be a plus side because they don't know half the better that they ain't supposed to be good.
Well, typically rookies aren't that great, Glenn. I mean, less than 50% of rookie players end up. Only 43% of first-round picks make it in the league. I'm gonna find that number again. How many the percentage of each round?
But see, what you're trying to do is make them all pros. Nobody's saying they don't be all pros. Just like your boy Waddle. He ain't never been on he never even made the Pro Bowl. He was the second. I say he was the number 2 receiver. Is that not true?
I mean, I think the one year he should have probably made the Pro Bowl. He had 1,400 yards receiving.
Why, when everybody else had 18, 19, 1,700 yards that year?
I mean, 1,400 yards is a pretty good year, Glenn. As a number 2 wide receiver.
He was a number 2. So you're saying he is a number 2 wide receiver? So
I've always said that I didn't see. I didn't always said that he was a number 2 wide receiver. Can Caleb Douglas be more than that in this league? Absolutely, he can. Do I think he's going to be that this year? No, I don't think this year he's going to be as good as what Jalen Waddle would be for us.
See, my problem with Jalen Waddle is, first of all, you could once you have Waddle, you could give up those contested jump balls. I don't remember him ever catching a contested jump ball.
And listen, you're right, Glenn. There's probably things that Caleb Douglas can do better than what Jalen Waddle can do. But I think this year, Jalen Waddle would have been the better option for us. Now you would have still had Caleb Douglas. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to draft Chris Johnson, obviously, so that would have been another issue. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have traded Jalen Waddle for the first-round pick. I'm just saying right now, today, if I had the choice between Caleb Douglas and Jalen Waddle for one season, I'm not talking about long-term. I'm talking about for one season, I'm taking Jalen Waddle.
And they made that decision. The front office made that decision, which put us further in the hole. That's their decision they made. They have to live with it. And but I did tell you, hey, and the only reason I told you Chris Bell could come back in September is because I know he only had an ACL. And I had that surgery and I didn't get the care that he did. But the ACL only takes, if it's just the ACL. Now, if it was the MCL and stuff like that, yes, that does. The biggest thing I had why I thought he was coming back because of his age. The younger you are, those heal a lot faster than if you get older.
I'm sure they do.
They do. That ACL will heal faster. And you're right. I ain't worried about the cutting and the thing. What will get him the most is like the button hooks, where you have to do a 180-degree turn. Now that's a little bit that's stretching it that a quarterback doesn't do. Those damn button hooks and stuff where you do a 180 turn and come back to that. Yeah, those are very strenuous on the ACL. I mean, with this right here, with Chris Bell coming back, hell, I want him to go. See, here's what my thing is. Yes, I don't think our backfield will be, our defensive backfield will be great, and they will give up a lot of passing yards. But if you could stop the run, that helps your defense. That helps your defense so much. You cannot give up both run and passing. If they give up the run and the passes, what?
You're right about that.
Yeah. So if they give up just if they could stop the run, it helps the thing, because now it's 3rd and 10 or 2nd and 8 instead of, and then 3rd and 8 or something like that instead of 3rd and 2. You know. But this team, I don't know about this team in this year, because if you look at last year's, they have a hard schedule. But then again, I'm thinking about it. How many times have we walked into the year and was told Miami had a hard schedule, and it ended up being the easiest schedule?
Yeah, but you can't count on that. That's not something that you can.
That's right. That's right. So you can't count on teams saying, "Oh, this team don't be a playoff team," because you never know. Because I would have bet the house that Baltimore and Chiefs would have been a playoff team last year, and I would have been broke.
Yeah,
Things changed. Baltimore and Chiefs, I thought, would still be in the playoffs, but nope, they weren't. And things changed from year to year. That's why I don't know. I just don't know about this team. I do know that we need to get these people on the field and get them, because just like Jonah last year, he had a bad year. Even though it was against the backups this last weekend, he rated a 72, which is better than any time he had last year in PFF. He never rated in the 70s in a PFF last year. Now, it was a good thing, but the whole line played against backups, and he had the highest score with PFF against the starting offensive line.
Yeah, if Jonah can improve this season, that'll definitely be a huge deal for us. It's all about the health, because if people start going down, if we suffer an injury or two on the offensive line.
Yeah, that's what that $189 million hurts you the most for. The $189 million is backups. You don't have any backups or anything worth while. We'll be picking up people throughout the whole year on waiver wires to build the back end.
That's exactly why I said that 180 hurts so much. Is that?
Oh yeah,
that's where it really hurts this team, because that's how we had to fill out our roster, and that's how come we have a lack of depth, is because we have $180 million in dead cap.
You could have like us. I'm fine with like on offense. I'm fine with the starters.
Cap contracts get more expensive. Don't forget that how much the contracts have gone up. You're misconstrued.
Just thinking. Our problem is let's just say these players do develop. Problem is you can't keep 22 players or sign 22 players in 2 years. Where you have to sign last year's, and then the following year you have to sign this year. Oh, we don't have some decisions to make in the future if they even develop and get above average or average. Because average players make $100,000, depending on the position and stuff. But no, I just wanted to tell you, I did call the Chris Bell way back in May, but it's still early. He has 27 days until damn play a game. Damn. That's a long way.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully he can play and not be a injury risk, and he'll definitely. I think if he plays, he'll definitely help this offense.
He has to be on the 50-man. He has to be on the 53-man roster. He cannot go to PUP. It's either the 53-man roster or it's IR and he's out for the season. He cannot go on PUP anymore.
Yep.
For the season. He has to be on the 53-man roster now.
All right, Glenn, I'm going to get Richard on. I appreciate your time, buddy.
Yep, I'll talk to you later. I know you got other people to talk to. I'll talk to you later.
I thank you, buddy. Richard, you there?
Yeah, Big C, can you hear me?
Yep, I can. What's up, brother?
Yeah, the Chris Bell activation. I'm not going to read too much into that because they could ramp him up really slowly, and it's a good idea to let him get confidence in that knee. It doesn't mean that he'll be a full participant, and but it is a good sign that he's activated, and if he's not ready week 1 and he's inactive, that's still a good thing because you'd be on the roster. And the other thing I have, do you agree with giving Achane carries in the preseason because he's a proven commodity? And I think he's one of the few players that we can't lose because the season would be terrible if we were to lose Achane. I would put him on bubble wrap until week 1. I'm going to hang up and listen to your response. Thank you, Big C.
I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. Yeah, as far as the Chris Bell, I'm not sure when he's going to actually hit the field for us, but I think this is a sign that he's closer than what we probably thought he was. So that's a good thing. I definitely think if Chris Bell, the sooner rather than later, gets on the field for us, definitely gives us another weapon in the passing game. But again, these guys are rookies, so you got to remember there's gonna be a rookie wall. There's gonna be, he's coming back from a major injury. Typically, it's 2 years for guys coming back from those type of injuries. But regardless, I think it helps, and I think it means he's closer than what we thought he was. As far as Devon Achane, yeah, I was surprised that he played that preseason game. I don't think there's a need or a reason to play Achane in the preseason. We know what we got in Achane. I wouldn't be putting the mileage on him. I just don't think it's super smart. But hey, this is Jeff Hafley's team, and you gotta, he's the one that's in charge, not me. So he's gonna do what he wants to do, and yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, if it was me, I wouldn't be playing Achane. He's our one guaranteed weapon, and we're out here risking him in a preseason game. It just don't make sense to me, especially when you're trying to see, a battle for that second running back spot, Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon. Who who's the number 2, who's the number 3. I'm still not sure who the better back is between them two. But yeah, I wouldn't be playing H-Chan at this point. But yeah, Chris Bell on his way back. Huge news for the Miami Dolphins. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. That gives Malik Willis another option on this offense. I was really down on this wide receiver room, but if Caleb Douglas can keep going the direction that he's going, and proving me wrong so far, again, very limited sample size though. 1 catch in a preseason game, and some catches in training camp. That's not enough for me. Again, people want me to be optimistic, but it's hard to be optimistic with a team that's hurt you so badly over the last 30 years. You know what I mean? This team has disappointed me time and time again. I know I shouldn't hold that against this football team, but again, I know how this team's mostly built, and it's mostly built with minimum contract guys. Yeah, we got some talent, and we got a few studs. But like Scotty said, there's only like 7 or 8 players on this football team that would guarantee start for somebody else. Everybody else is fringe players, or, lucky if they're depth players for other teams. So people just aren't looking at this football team and realizing how much we truly lost. They just see Malik Willis, and, I get it. Malik Willis is the shiny new toy. Everybody sees him as this huge improvement over Tua Tagovailoa. And shoot, maybe he is. Maybe he is. But people don't understand the amount of talent we surrounded Tua with. And that's gone. That's gone. So now, yeah, we got the quarterback that of our dreams, you know what I mean? We got the quarterback that can possibly take us to the next level. But now we need to build that team around him. And it's going to take some time. And we need some ammunition to do that. We didn't have that ammunition this year because of the bad mistakes and the bad choices that Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel made. The lousy contracts that they gave the people. The Tyreek Hills, the Bradley Chubbs, the Tua Tagovailoas. The only free agency move we were really able to make was Malik Willis. Other than that, who else is there? Who else is there? But it is what it is. I think, again, this was supposed to be a positive video, and it is a positive video. It's positive. Chris Bell gonna be back sooner rather than later, hopefully. Prayers for the kid. Hopefully, no setbacks. And we get to see this new wide receiver duo of Caleb Douglas and Chris Bell, and I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. And I'm excited to see what Malik Willis can do with it. I'm excited. But yeah, that's what I got. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know what it is. Fins up. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace.